Imagine this. Two people start in the same place. Same education, same opportunities, same resources. Fast forward 10 years. One is thriving, earning more, living their dream, while the other is stuck, struggling, and frustrated. What made the difference? It's the 5% rule, a principle that separates the top achievers from the rest. The truth is, only 5% of people ever reach extraordinary levels of success. The good news, you can be part of them. In this session, we'll break down exactly how the top 5% think, work, and execute their way to the top so you can do the same. Let's dive in. Way 1. The power of marginal gains. Success is rarely the result of one massive breakthrough. Instead, it is the accumulation of small, consistent improvements over time. This concept, known as the power of marginal gains, is what separates the top achievers from the rest. It's the philosophy that even a slight enhancement in performance, efficiency, or skill, when repeated consistently, can lead to extraordinary results. Consider the way elite athletes train. They don't suddenly wake up one day and become champions. Instead, they fine-tune their diet, adjust their sleeping patterns, improve their training techniques, and analyze every small aspect of their performance. Each improvement on its own might seem insignificant, perhaps a 1% increase in endurance, a minor adjustment in form, or a fraction of a second shaved off their reaction time. But when these micro improvements compound over weeks, months, and years, the difference becomes monumental. The average competitor remains stagnant, while the top performer is continuously evolving. This principle applies not only to sports, but to every field of success. In business, top entrepreneurs don't rely on one brilliant idea to succeed. They refine their marketing strategies, enhance customer experiences, and optimize internal processes little by little. They know that the difference between mediocrity and excellence is not found in one big move, but in consistently making small, smart decisions that accumulate over time. The same holds true for personal growth. Imagine someone who wants to become an expert in a skill, whether it's public speaking, sales, or leadership. If they try to master everything overnight, they'll quickly become overwhelmed and likely give up. But if they commit to improving just 1% each day, practicing a little more, studying an extra 10 minutes, or implementing one new technique, their progress will snowball. In the beginning, these gains may not seem noticeable. However, over time, these small improvements stack up, leading to massive transformation. One of the best examples of marginal gains in action comes from British cycling. For decades, the team was considered mediocre, struggling to compete on the world stage. But when a new coach introduced the philosophy of small incremental improvements, everything changed. They began optimizing the aerodynamics of their bikes, refining their athletes' nutrition, improving sleep quality, and even making micro adjustments to their riding posture. These minor changes, barely noticeable on their own, compounded into significant performance gains. The result? The British cycling team dominated the sport, winning multiple Olympic gold medals and Tour de France titles. This approach works because it leverages the power of compounding. Just as small financial investments grow exponentially over time due to compound interest, small improvements in performance, habits, and decision-making multiply over time. The challenge most people face is that they underestimate the impact of these tiny adjustments. They assume that only drastic changes lead to success, so they ignore the simple, everyday opportunities to improve by just a fraction. As a result, they stay stuck, waiting for a big break that never comes. The reality is that success is built on consistency. The people who reach the top aren't necessarily the most talented or the most fortunate. They are simply the ones who commit to continuous improvement, no matter how small. They don't rely on motivation or luck. They rely on habits and discipline. They trust that every tiny step forward, no matter how insignificant it may seem in the moment, is bringing them closer to their ultimate goal. Marginal gains may seem slow at first, but over time they create unstoppable momentum. The process of getting just a little bit better every day, making smarter choices and refining strategies consistently leads to breakthroughs that most people never achieve. Way 2, mindset shift. Thinking like the elite. The way you think determines the way you act, and the way you act determines the results you get. The difference between those who achieve extraordinary success and those who remain stuck isn't intelligence, luck, or resources. It's mindset. The top 5% think differently. They see opportunities where others see obstacles. They take control of their circumstances instead of becoming victims of them. They believe in their ability to grow, adapt, and succeed no matter the odds. This mindset shift is what separates elite performers from the rest of the world. One of the first and most important mental shifts is taking full responsibility for your life. Most people operate with a mindset of blame and excuses. They blame their upbringing, their boss, the economy, or bad luck for their lack of progress. But top achievers refuse to think this way. They don't waste time complaining about circumstances they can't control. Instead, they focus on what they can control: their actions, decisions, and responses. When something goes wrong, they ask, what can I do to fix this? Instead of, why is this happening to me? This shift from victim mentality to ownership is one of the most powerful changes a person can make. The moment you take 100% responsibility for your results, you also take back the power to change them. Another critical mindset shift is how successful people view failure. The average person fears failure and avoids it at all costs. They see failure as a reflection of their incompetence, something to be ashamed of. Because of this fear, they play it safe, take fewer risks, and ultimately miss out on the biggest opportunities. The top 5%, however, see failure as feedback. They understand that every mistake, every setback, and every rejection is simply a lesson. Instead of running from failure, they analyze it. They ask, what can I learn from this? How can I improve? This willingness to embrace failure as part of the learning process allows them to grow faster than others. The more they fail, the more they learn, and the more they learn, the more they succeed. Beyond failure, high achievers also view challenges differently. While most people see challenges as problems that create stress, frustration, and excuses to quit, the elites see them as stepping stones. They know that struggle is necessary for growth. They welcome obstacles because they understand that overcoming them makes them stronger, smarter, and more resilient. Instead of avoiding difficult situations, they lean into them. They actively seek out discomfort because they know that's where real progress happens. Whether it's learning a new skill, starting a business, or pushing through a plateau, they embrace the challenge instead of fearing it. Another mindset that sets the elite apart is their approach to self-belief. The average person doubts themselves. They hesitate, they second-guess their decisions, and they allow fear to dictate their actions. They tell themselves stories like, I'm not good enough, I don't have the right skills, or what if I fail? These limiting beliefs keep them trapped in mediocrity. In contrast, the top achievers cultivate an unshakable belief in themselves. Even when they don't have all the answers, even when they're facing uncertainty, they trust in their ability to figure things out. They don't wait for confidence to come, they build it through action. They understand that confidence isn't something you're born with. It's something you develop by consistently stepping outside your comfort zone and proving to yourself that you're capable. The elite also have a long-term perspective. Most people think in terms of short-term gratification. They want results now. They chase quick fixes, shortcuts, and instant success, only to be disappointed when things don't happen overnight. Because of this impatience, they give up too soon, switch directions too often, and never build the momentum needed for real success. The top 5% think differently. They play the long game. They are willing to sacrifice short-term pleasure for long-term rewards. They understand that meaningful success takes time, persistence, and a relentless commitment to improvement. This ability to delay gratification and stay focused on the bigger picture gives them a massive advantage over everyone else. Another powerful mindset shift is how successful people view competition. The average person sees competition as a threat. They feel intimidated by others who are more successful, more skilled, or further ahead. This creates feelings of jealousy, insecurity, and self-doubt. But the elite see competition differently. Instead of feeling threatened by others' success, they use it as inspiration. They study their competitors, learn from them, and use them as motivation to push themselves further. They don't waste energy comparing themselves negatively. They focus on becoming the best version of themselves. They understand that the only real competition is with who they were yesterday. One of the final mindset shifts that define top achievers is their commitment to personal growth. Most people stop learning after school. They settle into their routines, relying on the knowledge and skills they already have. Over time, they become stagnant, outdated, and replaceable. The elite, however, never stop learning. They are constantly reading, taking courses, seeking mentors, and developing new skills. They have a deep curiosity and an insatiable hunger for improvement. They know that the world is always evolving, and if they're not growing, they're falling behind. They don't wait for learning opportunities to come to them. They actively seek them out. The way you think determines everything. The beliefs you hold, the attitudes you adopt, and the way you approach challenges will ultimately shape the results you achieve. Way 3, mastering discipline and consistency. Discipline and consistency are the backbone of success. They are the invisible forces that separate those who achieve extraordinary results from those who fall short. While talent, intelligence, and luck play a role, they pale in comparison to the power of disciplined, consistent effort. The most successful people in any field are not necessarily the most gifted, but they are the ones who show up every day, do the work, and stay committed to the process no matter what. Discipline is the ability to do what needs to be done even when you don't feel like doing it. Most people operate based on emotions and motivation. If they feel inspired, they take action. If they don't, they procrastinate. This cycle of inconsistency keeps them stuck in mediocrity. The elite, on the other hand, understand that motivation is unreliable. They don't wait until they feel like it to take action. They do it because it's part of their routine. Whether they're tired, unmotivated, or facing obstacles, they stick to their commitments. They have trained themselves to act regardless of circumstances, and this is what allows them to make steady progress over time. The key to mastering discipline is setting clear, non-negotiable standards for yourself. The top 5% don't leave their success up to chance. They don't wake up wondering if they should go to the gym, work on their goals, or invest time in learning. They have already made the decision in advance. There is no debate, no back and forth in their minds. They decide once, and then they follow through every single day. This removes the mental exhaustion that comes from making daily decisions about whether or not to take action. It becomes automatic. The more you train yourself to follow through, the less willpower it takes. Consistency is what turns small efforts into massive success. Doing something once or twice won't change your life, but doing it consistently over months and years will. This is why so many people struggle with achieving their goals. They start strong but quickly lose momentum. They expect instant results, and when they don't see progress right away, they quit. The truth is, results take time. The best athletes don't become champions overnight. The most successful entrepreneurs don't build empires in a week. They commit to the process, putting in effort every single day, even when the progress is invisible. One of the biggest mistakes people make is underestimating the power of compounding efforts. Small actions repeated consistently create exponential growth over time. Imagine someone who wants to get in shape. They go to the gym for a week, but they don't see significant changes, so they quit. Meanwhile, another person sticks with it for months, training consistently, even on days when they don't feel like it. At first, the difference between the two may not seem noticeable, but over time, the disciplined individual transforms their body while the other remains stuck. The same principle applies to learning a skill, building a business, or improving any area of life. Small, consistent actions add up to massive success, while inconsistency leads to stagnation. Another reason why consistency is so powerful is that it builds trust, not only with others, but with yourself. When you consistently follow through on your commitments, you develop self-confidence. You start to believe in your ability to achieve goals because you've proven to yourself that you can stick with something. On the other hand, when you constantly start and stop, set goals and abandon them, you erode your self-trust. You begin to doubt yourself, and that doubt makes it even harder to stay committed. This is why the most successful people are not only disciplined, but fiercely consistent. They create a track record of reliability, both internally and externally. One of the biggest challenges people face when trying to build discipline and consistency is dealing with setbacks. The reality is, no one is perfect. There will be days when you slip up, miss a workout, skip a task, or fall short of your standards. The difference between average performers and top achievers is how they respond to these moments. The average person lets one bad day turn into a bad week, then a bad month. They get discouraged and quit. The disciplined individual, however, understands that setbacks are part of the process. They don't let one mistake define them. Instead of dwelling on failure, they refocus and get back on track immediately. This resilience is what allows them to maintain long-term consistency. Another crucial element of discipline is time management. The most disciplined people don't rely on willpower alone. They create systems that make consistency easier. They plan their days in advance, structure their environment to support their habits, and eliminate distractions. They know that discipline is not just about working hard, it's about working smart. They remove temptation, set clear priorities, and create routines that automate success. This allows them to stay focused without constantly relying on motivation or willpower. Ultimately, discipline and consistency create unstoppable momentum. The more consistent you are, the easier it becomes to stay on track. Success is not about doing everything perfectly. It's about showing up every day, putting in the work, and staying committed to the long game. The way for. The 5% work ethic. The people who rise to the top in any field do not simply work harder, they work smarter, longer, and more strategically than everyone else. The 5% work ethic is about going beyond what the average person is willing to do. It's about making the tough decisions, putting in the extra effort, and pushing through discomfort when everyone else is looking for the easy way out. The difference between the top 5% and the rest isn't just talent or intelligence. It's the way they approach their work. They understand that success is earned through relentless effort, consistency, and an unshakable commitment to mastery. Most people do the bare minimum required to get by. They work just hard enough to meet expectations, just enough to keep their jobs, just enough to feel like they're making progress. The elite, on the other hand, operate on a completely different level. They don't settle for good enough. They don't stop when they're tired. They stop when the job is done. They take ownership of their work, their goals, and the results. Instead of waiting for opportunities to come to them, they create opportunities by continuously improving, learning, and refining their skills. One of the defining traits of the top 5% is their ability to do what others won't. When everyone else is relaxing, they are putting in extra reps. When others are procrastinating, they are executing. They don't just work when they feel like it. They work because they are committed to excellence. They show up earlier, stay later, and focus on the details that others ignore. This extra effort compounds over time, creating a massive gap between them and the rest of the competition. Another key element of the 5% work ethic is their ability to push through discomfort. Most people avoid difficult tasks. They look for shortcuts, quick fixes, and easy solutions. The elite embrace the struggle. They understand that discomfort is where real growth happens. They push themselves past their limits, knowing that the only way to reach new heights is to challenge themselves continuously. Whether it's an athlete training harder than ever, an entrepreneur working late into the night, or an artist refining their craft for years before gaining recognition, the top performers are willing to endure what others won't. The 5% also have an obsessive attention to detail. While the average person rushes through their work just to finish, the best take the time to refine, perfect, and optimize every aspect of what they do. They don't just aim to be good, they aim to be the best. This level of dedication is what separates world-class performers from those who remain average. They review their work, seek feedback, and make continuous improvements. Even when no one else is watching, they hold themselves to the highest standard. Another aspect of their work ethic is how they manage their time. The top 5% don't waste hours on distractions or unproductive activities. They know that every minute counts. They prioritize the most important tasks, eliminate unnecessary distractions, and create systems that maximize efficiency while others are scrolling through social media, watching TV, or engaging in meaningless activities. They are investing in their growth, developing skills, and taking deliberate actions that move them forward. The top 5% also operate with a sense of urgency. They don't wait for the perfect time to start. They take action immediately. They understand that time is the most valuable resource, and they refuse to waste it. When they set a goal, they attack it with focus and intensity. They don't procrastinate, and they don't allow excuses to slow them down. They treat every day as an opportunity to get ahead, knowing that consistency over time leads to extraordinary results. Another major difference is their resilience. Most people give up when things get tough. They quit at the first sign of difficulty. The elite push forward no matter how many setbacks they face. They know that obstacles are part of the journey, and instead of being discouraged, they use challenges as fuel to work even harder. They refuse to be derailed by failure, rejection, or temporary setbacks. Instead, they adapt, learn, and keep moving forward with even more determination. The 5% also go the extra mile in everything they do. They don't just meet expectations, they exceed them. Whether it's delivering more value in their work, putting more effort into their relationships, or going beyond what is required, they always do more than what's asked of them. This habit of exceeding expectations makes them stand out and creates opportunities that others never get. People recognize their effort, respect their work ethic, and trust them to deliver results. At the core of the 5% work ethic is an unrelenting commitment to improvement. They are never satisfied with where they are. No matter how much they achieve, they always strive to be better. They study, train, practice, and refine their skills every single day. They seek out mentors, analyze their mistakes, and constantly look for ways to improve. They know that the moment they become complacent is the moment they start falling behind. This continuous drive for self-improvement is what allows them to stay ahead of the competition and reach levels of success that most people only dream of. 5, strategic learning and adaptability. Success in any field is not just about working hard. It's about working smart. Strategic learning and adaptability are what separate the top 5% from everyone else. The world is constantly changing, and those who can learn quickly, adjust to new challenges, and apply their knowledge effectively will always stay ahead. The ability to continuously learn and adapt is more valuable than any single skill because it allows a person to thrive in any situation, no matter how unpredictable the environment may be. Most people learn in a passive, unstructured way. They absorb information randomly, hoping that something will eventually help them succeed. They read books, watch videos, and attend seminars, but they fail to apply what they learn in a way that leads to real results. The elite, on the other hand, approach learning with strategy and purpose. They don't just consume information for the sake of it. They seek out the exact knowledge they need to solve their current problems and improve their skills. They are intentional about what they study, focusing on high-impact learning that directly contributes to their goals. One of the key differences between average learners and strategic learners is how they apply knowledge. Many people mistake information for mastery. They read a book, take a course, or listen to a podcast and feel like they've made progress. But without application, knowledge is useless. The top 5% understand this, which is why they immediately put what they learn into action. They don't just collect knowledge. They implement, experiment, and refine their approach based on real-world feedback. If they read about a new strategy, they test it. If they learn a new skill, they practice it. This process of continuous application accelerates their growth far beyond those who only absorb information passively. Another critical aspect of strategic learning is the ability to filter information. In today's world, people are bombarded with endless content, news, social media, advice from so-called experts, and countless self-help resources. The average person consumes everything without discretion, leading to overwhelm and confusion. The elite, however, are highly selective. They don't waste time on low-value information. Instead, they focus on learning from the best sources, studying successful individuals, and extracting insights that are directly applicable to their goals. They know that not all information is valuable, and they prioritize quality over quantity. Beyond just learning efficiently, the most successful people are masters of adaptability. They understand that no strategy, skill, or knowledge is permanent. The world is constantly evolving, and those who refuse to adapt are left behind. This is why adaptability is one of the most important traits for long-term success. The elite don't resist change, they embrace it. They anticipate shifts in their industry, stay ahead of trends, and continuously update their skills to remain competitive. They are never stuck in old ways of thinking, and they are willing to let go of outdated beliefs and strategies in favor of what works best in the present. Adaptability also requires resilience. Many people struggle to adapt because they fear change. They become comfortable with routines, familiar methods, and past successes, which makes them resistant to new approaches. But the top 5% have a completely different mindset. They see change as an opportunity rather than a threat. When faced with uncertainty, they don't panic or complain. They adjust, learn, and move forward with confidence. They are problem solvers, always looking for ways to turn challenges into advantages. If a strategy stops working, they don't waste time clinging to it. They pivot, innovate, and find a new way to achieve their goals. One of the best examples of adaptability in action is how the most successful businesses operate. Companies that dominate their industries are not the ones that stay the same year after year. They are the ones that evolve. Think about technology companies like Apple, Amazon, or Tesla. They don't rely on past successes. They constantly innovate, experiment, and adjust to market demands. The same principle applies to individuals. Those who succeed long-term are those who are always learning, growing, and adapting to new challenges. Another reason adaptability is so crucial is that failure is inevitable. No one succeeds without setbacks, obstacles, or unexpected challenges. The difference between those who fail and those who thrive is how they respond. The average person sees failure as the end of the road. They get discouraged, give up, or blame external factors. The elite see failure as data. Every setback is an opportunity to learn. Instead of seeing mistakes as something to be ashamed of, they analyze them, extract lessons, and use them to improve. They don't dwell on what went wrong. They focus on how to adjust and move forward stronger than before. Strategic learners also understand the importance of surrounding themselves with the right influences. They know that the people they associate with have a direct impact on their mindset, habits, and growth. This is why they seek out mentors, experts, and high achievers who can challenge them to think bigger and perform at a higher level. They actively avoid negative influences, distractions, and environments that slow down their progress. Instead of engaging in pointless discussions or consuming entertainment that doesn't serve them, they invest their time in learning from those who have already achieved what they aspire to accomplish. Another essential part of adaptability is the willingness to reinvent oneself. The most successful people are not attached to a single identity or role. They don't define themselves by past achievements or job titles. Instead, they are always evolving, upgrading their skills, and expanding their capabilities. If they need to shift industries, they do it. If they need to develop a new skill set, they commit to it. They are not afraid to step into the unknown because they trust in their ability to learn, adapt, and succeed no matter the circumstances. Strategic learning and adaptability are not just about gaining knowledge, they are about taking deliberate action, refining skills, and continuously evolving to meet new challenges. Way 6. Taking action and execution. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is not intelligence, talent, or even knowledge. It's action. The most successful people in the world are not necessarily the smartest or the most skilled, but they are the ones who take action, execute consistently, and turn their ideas into reality. They don't just think, plan, or talk about success. They go out and make it happen. Most people spend too much time in the planning phase. They wait for the perfect moment, try to gather all the information, and endlessly prepare without ever pulling the trigger. They believe they need to have everything figured out before they start, but in reality, this is just a form of procrastination. The elite understand that execution is what matters most. They know that action creates clarity, and the best way to learn is by doing. Instead of overanalyzing, they start with what they know. Take the first step and adjust along the way. One of the biggest killers of execution is the fear of failure. Many people hesitate to take action because they are afraid of making mistakes, looking foolish, or not getting it right the first time. They wait until they feel ready. But the truth is, no one ever feels completely ready for something new. The most successful individuals don't let fear paralyze them. They accept that failure is part of the process and that mistakes are just stepping stones to success. They would rather take imperfect action than do nothing at all. Taking action also requires overcoming the need for perfection. Many people delay execution because they want everything to be flawless before they start. They believe they need the perfect plan, the perfect timing, or the perfect conditions. But perfection is an illusion. The top 5% understand that progress is more important than perfection. They start where they are, do the best they can, and improve as they go. They don't wait for all the lights to turn green before driving. They move forward, knowing they can make adjustments along the way. Execution also means doing the work, not just consuming information. Many people fall into the trap of learning mode. They read books, watch videos, take courses, and attend seminars, but they never apply what they learn. They feel productive because they are gathering knowledge, but without execution, knowledge is worthless. The elite operate differently. They learn just enough to take action, and then they apply what they've learned immediately. They don't just absorb information passively. They test, experiment, and put theories into practice. They know that real growth happens through experience, not just education. Another major barrier to execution is procrastination. Most people struggle to take action because they allow distractions, excuses, and short-term comforts to get in the way. They tell themselves they'll start tomorrow, next week, or when the time is right, but that time never comes. The top 5% don't give in to procrastination. They have trained themselves to take action immediately, even when they don't feel like it. They understand that the longer they wait, the harder it becomes to start. They develop the habit of starting now, no matter how small the step may be. Execution also requires consistency. Taking action once or twice isn't enough. It needs to become a habit. Many people start strong but lose momentum quickly. They get excited about a new goal, put in effort for a few days or weeks, but then life gets in the way and they stop. The elite don't operate this way. They commit to taking action every single day, no matter how small. They understand that success is built on consistent effort over time. They don't rely on bursts of motivation. They build discipline and routines that keep them moving forward even when motivation fades. Another key element of execution is speed. The most successful people act quickly. When they get an idea, they move on it fast. They don't spend weeks or months thinking about whether it's the right decision. They take action, test it, and adjust as needed. Speed gives them an advantage because while others are still planning, they are already making progress. They know that execution is a process of trial and error, and the faster they take action, the faster they can learn and improve. Taking action also means embracing discomfort. Most people hesitate to execute because taking action often involves stepping outside their comfort zone. It might mean making a tough phone call, putting themselves in a new environment, or facing uncertainty. But growth only happens when you push beyond what feels safe and familiar. The top 5% understand this, and instead of avoiding discomfort, they lean into it. They take action even when it's uncomfortable because they know that's where real progress happens. Another important part of execution is eliminating distractions. In today's world, there are endless things competing for attention: social media, entertainment, emails, and other low-value activities. Many people struggle to execute because they allow these distractions to consume their time and energy. The elite are ruthless about protecting their focus. They set clear priorities, create systems to eliminate distractions, and dedicate uninterrupted time to execution. They don't let small, unimportant tasks get in the way of the big actions that drive real results. Execution is also about resilience. When things don't go as planned, the average person gets discouraged and stops taking action. They see obstacles as signs that they should quit. But the elite understand that setbacks are part of the journey. They don't stop when they hit a roadblock. They find another way forward. They adjust, adapt, and keep moving no matter what challenges arise. They don't let temporary failures turn into permanent inaction. The most successful people in the world are not just thinkers, planners, or dreamers. They are doers. They take action consistently, execute without hesitation, and turn ideas into results. Success is not reserved for a lucky few. It is earned through deliberate choices, relentless action, and an unwavering commitment to growth. The top 5% are not born extraordinary. They become extraordinary by mastering discipline, developing an elite mindset, embracing strategic learning, and executing with consistency. They are the ones who show up every day, put in the extra effort, and refuse to settle for mediocrity. If you want to join them, it's not about making massive leaps overnight. It's about making small, intentional improvements every single day. It's about committing to the process, pushing through discomfort, and taking action even when it's inconvenient. The path to success is not always easy, but it is always possible for those who are willing to do what others won't. So ask yourself, are you ready to step up? Are you ready to adopt the mindset, habits, and work ethic of the top achievers? The choice is yours. Success is not a matter of luck. It's a matter of decision and execution. The opportunity is right in front of you, and the only thing standing between where you are now and where you want to be is your willingness to take action.